It gets way worse. This third clip is, I've been a news reporter. I've been a sports writer. I was a sports editor. I worked for wrestling. If I was in your shoes at this point, I think I would have been so angry. It would all I could do not to either walk out or put my fist into a ball, because it was like, this is one of the strangest transactions of language I've ever heard, as people tap dance like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers around what really happened with the media on that day. Do you have any sense of why this occurred, why the wrestling media was so blatantly left out of this?
Well, we were the ones that were really covering it, I mean, on a deep basis. And, you know, for me, broadcasting about it every single week, they didn't want anyone really educated to what was going on, or having the complete details of the trial. And it was just kind of like, let's just kind of, like you were saying, handpick who we were going to acknowledge and talk to. So, I mean, but I kind of threw that out the window.
Well, here's our final clip. Here's John trying to get an answer to a straight question. And folks, this is the response he got.
Cliff?
How has the recent controversy affected WWF? Has a negative publicity kind of good dampen on it?
No, I don't believe so. I think that our fans know very well that we're always going to do the right thing. We always have. We've always stood by them. As far as business is concerned, our businesses are up everywhere, with the exception of, we're not recession-proof, however. There's been a dip in live attendance, which is the high-ticket item. But in all other areas, business, I'm happy to say, is very, very good, and our fans are very, very supportive of us.
Larry, do you have a question?
Yes, Larry Leventhal, Variety. First of all, can you give some details of the program, possibly, and when it's going to be implemented, and then maybe also talk about how this relates to the bodybuilding league you're setting up?
First, I'd like to state that I think it's important to note that we're the only entertainment company, to my knowledge, the only entertainment company that has imposed these restrictions upon ourselves in terms of going back to 1987 and establishing a drug testing education and rehabilitation program. Notwithstanding the fact that we are entertainment, it's important now that we go beyond that avenue. It's important now that we go into a new drug testing and education policy, which will include steroids, and it will be determined by the experts in the field, held accountable to you, held accountable to the WWF and to the public at large. As far as the actual specifics of the drug testing programs, that's yet to be determined in a very short period of time.
Yes, Herman, do you have a question?
Yes, Herman, any WWF wrestlers that you know of with these commonly known that you believe are related to steroid use?
No.
Do you think the media has been treating the WWF unfairly through the course of the trial and events leading up to today?
To a certain extent, perhaps yes. Again, I think that many fail to recognize, as I've stated before, that we are an entertainment company, and the first and only entertainment company as far to do drug testing. And I feel that, again, taking the word of certain individuals, in my mind, who have not been credible, and printing some of what they have stated is somewhat irresponsible, and those are my views.
Mike?
Mike Clement from Variety. I just wanted to know if this new policy will be moved over to the bodybuilding venture.
Bodybuilding unquestionably will be subject to anabolic steroid testing. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You keep referring to the entertainment aspect of your business.
Yes.
As opposed to sports, I imagine?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in that respect, do you think that the use of steroids or any other drug is less heinous in the world of entertainment than in the world of sports?
Absolutely not. No.
Well, why don't you stress that? You keep saying we're in the entertainment business, as though you're trying to draw a line of demarcation between the two.
Well, I would suggest to you that I don't believe any other sports, with the exception of the National Football League, test for steroids. Am I right?
You just said you're not a sport, you're an entertainment.
That's right.
You're you're trying to draw a sharp line between sports and entertainment.
No, sir. You're trying to draw a sharp line between sports and entertainment. I'm not.
I think what Mr. McMahon said was we are the only entertainment company that will pursue drug testing. That was his statement.
Thank you.
Bob?
You have a number of wrestlers involved in outside endorsements, and you have a number of products on the market that are marketed for children. Have you gotten any feedback or pressure, or in your own mind, are you worried about how the advertising community is looking upon this recent controversy, how it could affect that, since you crossed over into a multifaceted operation outside of the ring?
Mm-hmm. And the question is,
have you gotten word from Madison Avenue to clean up your act?
no, indeed not. Again, I think that Madison Avenue, as well as all of our fans, know that we're going to do the right thing, and we always have.
George?
Professional wrestlers succeed without using steroids?
I would suggest to you the vast majority of them do now.
Well, your wrestlers, you mentioned Hulk Hogan making a statement about on TV. Will there be more of your wrestlers being made accessible to the media as well?
Our wrestlers have always been accessible to the media through normal channels. Yes, sir.
On the matter of the accessibility of these wrestlers, you referred earlier to Hulk Hogan making a statement on the Senior Hall show tonight. Now that show is taped, so whatever he has to say, he has already said, I assume, or he's going to say early today. And you must be aware of it. Why are you not wanting to share his thoughts with us?
First of all, I'm not aware of what Hulk Hogan is going to say tonight, sir.
You're not.
And if I were, I'd be very happy to share it with
Why
you.
can you confide in you since you're the man who made a millionaire?
No, Hulk Hogan I did not make Hulk Hogan a millionaire.
Well, you helped him.
I'd like to think I helped a little bit along the way, yes.
It comes up that Hulk Hogan admits that at one time during his career he took steroids. How will that affect the marketing of the Hulk Hogan vitamins for children?
I think Hulk Hogan is everything that he's always stated that he has been and always will remain. I think that Hulk Hogan is unquestionably one of the greatest role models in the history of sport or entertainment, and he will stay that way.
When this testing is initiated at the beginning, will there be, if you have guys who are now wanting to decide, but obviously they're going to have to make a change, will it be a grace period? Will they be immediately suspended? How will it be dealt with? I mean, at first.
Again, we'll have to deal with the experts to determine how quickly this could be instituted. And as soon as we determine that, then we'll go for it.
Who will be administering these tests? Will it be an independent firm or something you're employed?
No, sir. Definitely an independent firm. Thus far, all of the testing has been overseen by myself as the administrator. That's going to change immediately so as to there can be absolutely no doubt whatsoever by anyone in this room, by anyone in the general public, that in a very short period of time, the World Wrestling Federation will be totally sports-free, drug-free sports entertainment. It's also sports-free.
Cliff?
Beg your pardon? No, we have not.
Cliff?
Let's say a month from today, realistically, if half your wrestlers show up weighing 155 pounds, how is that going to affect business and what pressure is going to be on the wrestlers?
Well, I don't believe that that's the case, but nonetheless, if someone showed up at 155 pounds, it would be because we're displaying their personality. These gentlemen, if you've ever watched the World Wrestling Federation on television, if you've ever seen any of our performers in terms of a live venue, you would note that they're very gifted in terms of athleticism, perhaps the most gifted of any athlete in the world today. In addition to that, they're extremely charismatic, and it is their performance and their charisma that sells, not their size.
Back in 1983-84, when Hulk Hogan became champion, the World Wrestling Federation at that time really started to push larger individuals, muscular individuals in wrestling. Did the people up in Titan Sports, and including yourself, encourage the wrestlers to get as big as possible to get a bigger push in the organization?
First of all, I don't believe that's the case, what you just stated. We take wrestlers from all walks of life, it is extremely important from a business standpoint to do that, because not everyone would want to look at a very muscular individual. It gets very boring. You want to have what's known as a product mix, which in a product mix will bring out all different sizes and shapes and definitions and personalities of bodies. That's what the WWF talent roster is all about.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Do you have any I'm Bob Lincoln from 10 Minutes Radio. Do you have any evidence that the public gives a damn about this?
Gives a damn about what, sir?
About whether or not your entertainers take steroids?
Well, I think it's important that we give a damn. I think that's the most important aspect of this, and I don't want anyone in the general public ever questioning what they see when they turn on television or go to a live event or be associated in any way with a WWF product. I never, ever again want anyone to question in their mind what if this is not good, wholesome, quality family entertainment. That's exactly what it is, and therefore we care, even if the general public would not.
So far, you haven't seen any indication that you care.
I think that the general public cares about what we do in general, so I would suggest they would care. Yes, sir.
You said today, talked about your own use of steroids, and there have been a lot of allegations.
Steroid.
There's been a lot of allegations at trial, a lot of speculation going back a number of years. Why wasn't something done before this?
I don't want to speculate on the trial at all. I think the jury has spoken as it relates to that. And what I want to address today is what's going to happen in the future here in the WWF. And one other item in terms of the future, and that is that the World Wrestling Federation has made the sports pages lately, thanks to you guys. We want to continue to make the sports pages in a positive way. We want you to continue to write about us. And we want you to follow this story all the way through. And we want you to compare our drug testing policies and procedures with all of those and all other professional sport. We want you to do that. Every single day, every week, whatever it may be, we want you to completely follow this story so that you then would be able to write, geez, why can't the rest of you guys be like the World Wrestling Federation? That's what we want. We want to continue to be on the sports pages of America.
Whether or not your wrestlers have been under pressure or have felt any pressure in the past to take steroids to bulk up and become large, is the WWF doing anything to relieve whatever pressure they might feel that they're under to muscle up? Is there an education program for your wrestlers? You told your wrestlers, look, we don't need you to be huge, muscular men.
I would suggest that the wrestlers know that already, but even if they didn't, with this new drug testing, education, and rehabilitation program, that'll definitely be reinforced. By the way, since I've stated what I said in terms of experimentation some 4 years ago about me personally, I would like to also state that I'm approximately 230 pounds, give or take 5 or 10 pounds, and I train every day for about 2 hours. I train very rigorously. I train very hard. I myself would like to think of myself as a role model in a way, and notwithstanding what happened 4 years ago, if anyone here at any time, today, or any time in the future, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it may be, would like to take Vince McMahon to the nearest testing facility and test him to see if he's taking any form of anabolic steroid or any other illegal drug, I would be happy to comply as long as you'll write about it.
Okay, are there any other questions?
How do you spell the steroid you were using?
I have no idea, sir. I'm sorry. I'm not that knowledgeable about it. I didn't like it when I tried it, so I can't come close to spelling it.
Okay, why don't we end on that note?
On one other note before we end, and that is, very, very importantly, I would like to invite each and every one of you here, as well as the general public at large, to attend SummerSlam in Madison Square Garden on August 26th. Thank you very much.
Okay, the press conference from this past Tuesday with Vincent K. McMahon, the CEO and president of Titan Sports, Inc.,